So today we're going to take all of we've learned about all of our different angle measures and solve problems where there's multiple angles that we're missing. So you have to remember everything. My first page is not your first page. This is a little review. Hopefully you'll be able to get all of these right as I say them. So you have to know what supplementary angles are. So supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees. You know that, right? Vertical angles are congruent, means they're the same angle measure. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. Same side interior add up to 180 degrees. Same side exterior add up to 180 degrees. Okay, supplementary angles. Usually we see them on a line. So figure out where your line is and whatever angles are on that line, add them together and you should get 180. Vertical angles, trace two lines in two different colors so you can see them more easily, and they are the ones that are not adjacent. Alternate exterior angles, parallel lines in a transversal, outside of the parallel lines, but on opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate interior angles, parallel lines in a transversal. They are inside the parallel lines, but on opposite sides of the transversal. Corresponding angles, I'm going to draw my picture underneath it now. Corresponding angles, there's my parallel lines. Aren't they beautiful? Corresponding angles, they are on the same side of my transversal, and one's interior and the other one's exterior. So there's 4 pairs of corresponding angles, and those are all congruent. Then you have same side interior and same side exterior. So there's my parallel lines and my transversal. Same side interior would be those two. So your same side interior, those are same side interior as well. Same side exterior, I'm going to do my parallel lines going a different way this time. There's my transversal. Same side exterior needs to be outside, but on the same side of my transversal. And those all add up to 180 degrees. For this one, you need to say what the question mark is. So what is the major angle, what's the measure of the angle? That is the question mark. And also I want you to say what type of angle it is. So I'll do this one first. This angle is called a corresponding angle. They're both on the same side of the transversal, and they're both above the parallel lines. Those are my parallel lines. It's often easiest to trace those. Trace your transversal in a different color, and then you can eyeball it more. So this is angles formed by blue and red, blue and red. When you get a lot more lines in there, it's important to do that. Okay, corresponding angles. I know corresponding angles are congruent, so that means my question mark is 105 degrees. Okay, you guys hit pause and do this one. What type of angle is your 116 in your question mark, and what is your angle measure of your question mark? Hit pause. Okay, I know they're alternate exterior angles because alternate, they're on opposite sides of my transversal. Exterior, because they're both exterior, so alternate exterior. So that means my question mark is 116 degrees because alternate exterior angles are corresponding. Okay, hit pause again and figure out what is your angle relationship between the 48 and the question mark. And tell me what the question mark is. Hit pause. They're alternate interior angles because they're on opposite sides of my transversal. They're interior because they're both inside my parallel lines. And I know alternate interior angles are congruent, so my question mark is 48 degrees. Hit pause and you try this one. Same side interior. They're both on the same side as my transversal and they're both inside my parallel lines. I know same side interior are supplementary angles. They're going to add to 180. So 50 plus my unknown angle is 180. Subtract 50 from both sides. My unknown angle is 130 degrees. Okay, there's a ton of different ways to look at this one. So why don't you guys try and find all your angle measures. Make sure you state your angle measure, what it is, and why. So I'll start with mine, and I like vertical angles because they're the easiest. So angle 8 is 123 degrees because it is a vertical. I misspell vertical angle all the time. Have you noticed that? I apologize if it throws you off. Vertical angle with angle 6. Okay. Let's see here. I know that corresponding angles are congruent. I know alternate interior, alternate exterior. So that's what I look at first, so I don't have to do any math. So hit pause and you find all your angles. Okay, so hopefully you hit pause and now you're just watching again. So you might have done yours in a different order, but I'm going to do all my congruent ones first so I don't have to do any math. So angle 1 is 123 degrees because it's a corresponding angle. Angle 1 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Now I know angle 3 is 123 degrees. I could say angle 3 is 123 degrees because it is corresponding with angle 6, but actually I saw it as vertical. And either way is fine. You could look at it a different way. What can't change is the angle measurements. All right, let's see here. I've got all those good. My alternate and exterior angles are the same, so I'm going to have to actually do some math now. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm looking at angle 7 right now, and I see angle 7 and angle 8 add up together to make a straight line. So I'm going to use this space over here for my math. Angle 7 plus 123 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 123 from both sides. So I know angle 7 is 57 degrees. Angle 7 is 57 degrees. I know that because angle 7 and angle 8 are supplementary. Now I can go through and see angle 5 is vertical to angle 7. So angle 5, I'm running out of space, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit. Angle 5 equals 57 degrees. I know that because angle 5 and angle 7 are vertical angles. I know angle 2 is 57 degrees, and I looked at it as its alternate interior, angle 2 and angle 5, but I could also see it as angle 2 and angle 7 are corresponding. Now I'm going to go to angle 4, and I looked at it as angle 4 is 57 because angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. But I also see it as angle 4 and angle 5 are corresponding. I also see angle 4 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. So you could have different reasons for what you see as their angle measures. as the reasons, but these all need to be the same numbers as I have written. Hopefully that makes sense. You could see it different ways and still come up with the same numbers, right? Somebody might have said, hey, this is a straight line so I can get that one, and ooh, this is a straight line so I can get that one, and ooh, this is a straight line so I can get that one. It's fine as long as you do the math correct and you know what all of your angle relationships are. Okay, I have to say something in order for the page to pop up. Parallel lines have so much in common, it's a shame they'll never meet. Okay, now we're getting tricky. Find the value x in the figure. All right, I see I have parallel lines, so the first thing I'm going to do is trace my parallel lines. And then I'm going to trace one of my transversals. I know this measure is 60, so I'm going to trace the transversal that has 60 on it. So I know this is 60. Let's see here. What else do I know? I know this is 60. I also know that this is 60 because it's a corresponding angle. So I write this on my picture. So if you ever have to do something from your textbook, you need to sketch the picture that's in the textbook on your own paper so you can write on it. Trace those lines. Draw in any angle that you know. All right. Now I'm going to go to this one, the red. So I'm only looking at red and blue angles. So this is a red and blue angle. I see this is a red and blue angle. Those are corresponding angles, so I know this is x. I actually see a way to solve it now. So once you just fill in as much as you can, then start looking and seeing, okay, can I write an equation? Is there only one variable? Do I know enough? If not, keep filling stuff in. So I know this is x, so that means this has to be x because those are vertical. That might have helped me. It actually doesn't. I already see what I need to do. So I see here a straight line. So that means this angle and this angle and this angle are supplementary. And there's only one variable among them, so I can write an equation. So I have my 60 degrees, plus I have my x minus 20 degrees, and I have my x degrees, and those will add together to make 180. Hopefully you see that. So now I'm just going to solve this equation. These are like terms. 60 minus 20 plus x equals 180. 60 minus 20 is 40. X plus x is 2x equals 180. I need to get my variable term by itself. So then I have to subtract 40 from both sides. See why solving those equations last chapter is so important in math? Divide by 2. X equals 70. Let's see, and that's my only variable that I needed. X is 70 degrees. So I'm done. Being the math nerd that I am, I actually, when I was doing this on my math notebook, I checked it by using some other information you haven't learned yet. Math nerd. All right. All right. So this one's a tricky one. All these different parallel lines. See, this has 3 of those little V-looking things, and this one has 3. So that means those 2 lines are parallel. So I'm going to start by, let's see here, I have a 70 degree there, I have an 80 degree there, so where I start needs to be at either one of those. I'm going to start at the 70. So this line is parallel to this line. This is a transversal that makes 70, so I'm going to come up with as much as I can, only looking at green and yellow angles. So this is 70. I know that angle 2 is 70 because those are alternate interior angles. It doesn't ask you why, so I'm just going to write the numbers. Angle 2, angle 3, I have to do angle 1 eventually. I could do angle 1 now. Angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8, angle 9, angle 10, angle 11. All right, so we're going to fill in as much as we can. I should also be able to do angle 1 because angle 1 and this one create a straight line. So that means they add up to 180. So angle 1 plus 70 equals 180. minus 70, angle 1 equals 110. So angle 1 is 110. I'm going to mark it on my paper because it's easier if you mark all of your stuff on your paper. All right, let's see. What other angles do I know? I know angle 3 and angle 4 are going to equal 110, but I don't know enough information yet because, see, those are alternate interior angles. Okay. And this is a little too big and too dark for me, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to rewrite that 110 in there so it's nice and tidy. 110. All right. So let's see. What else do I know? I know that yellow line is parallel to a line because it has that there. So I'm going to put what it's parallel to. I'm going to extend it a little bit just in case I need it. Sometimes you need to. All right, so let's see here. I've got yellow and blue, yellow and green, yellow and green. Ah, I see right here a yellow and green. I know what angle 7 is now. I got a little crazy with that blue. That should not be blue. I'm going to make it green again. Sorry about that. Okay, so hopefully you see yellow and green, yellow and green. So this is 70. This is 70. Those are corresponding angles. So angle 7 is 70 degrees. Let's see. I know this yellow and this green are 70. That means this yellow and this green is also 70 because those are corresponding angles. So angle 8 is 70 degrees. I can do number 11 very easily. 11's down here, because that is supplementary with 80. So 80 plus angle 11 equals 180. Subtract 80 from both sides. Angle 11 equals 100 degrees. All right, let's see. Green and yellow. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to another set of parallel lines, see if we can find anything. I'm going to come down to the bottom though. Okay. So those red are parallel. I see angles. I see this angle here made of red and green. And I also see an angle here made of red and green. Do you see where I'm looking? Those are corresponding angles. So that means, oops, I'm going to do some erasing down here because I need some more scratch paper. Okay, so angle 7 and angle 11 are corresponding. Oh, not angle 7, angle 7 and angle 6. Angle 7 plus angle 6. Okay, so it's both those. So angle 7 plus angle 6 equal angle 11. So angle 7 plus angle 6 equals angle 11, because those two plus and that one are corresponding. So angle 7 is 70 degrees plus angle 6, which we don't know, and those are equal to angle 11, which is 100. Subtract 70 from both sides. Angle 6 equals 30. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so angle 6 is an angle made up of red and yellow. So I'm going to look at other red and yellows. Let's see. This is a red and yellow. So that means angle 3 is equal to 30 degrees. Because those are alternate interior angles. They're both inside the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. I know angle 4 now. Because angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4, they make up a straight line. They make up the green line. So they have to equal 180 degrees. Angle 2 is 70. Angle 3 is 30. We don't know angle 4. So that's 100 plus angle 4 equals 180. Subtract 100. Angle 4 equals 80. Alright, let's see here. Angle 4 is made up of green and red. Green and red. Oh, okay. So what I just saw, I looked at green and red right here. That angle 80 is. Well, I shouldn't use that color. Right here. And green and red. Green and red. And that is alternate interior from that one, which is 80. So yeah, absolutely. Alright, I double checked myself. Alright, so it's just going through patiently looking at each one and what I can figure out. I should be able to get angle 5 now. Red, green, and red. I can get it a couple different ways. Probably the easiest way is angle 5 and angle 6 and angle 7 are supplementary. So that means angle 5 plus angle 6 plus angle 7 have to equal 180 degrees. Angle 5, we don't know. Angle 6 is 30. Angle 7 is 70. There should be a plus sign here. So angle 5 plus 100 equals 180. Subtract 100 from both sides. Angle 5 equals 80. Angle 5 equals 80. Alright. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, no kidding it is, because I see this made of red and green, and I see this made of red and green, and those are corresponding angles, so they're both 80. Alright, let's see. We have 9 and 10 left. Okay. So let's see here. 9 is made up of yellow and red. Oh, yellow and red. I see other yellow and red. So I've got my parallel lines. I know 9 is inside, so I'm going to look at inside, interior. And on the opposite end, alternate interior, opposite side of my transversal, I have 30 degrees because angle 6 and angle 9 are alternate interior angles. I can get angle 10 now because angle, do some erasing. Okay, this one is a hard one, so just so you know, hopefully you're able to follow along. So angle 8 plus angle 9 plus angle 10, it's 180 degrees. I know angle 8 is 70 degrees. I know angle 9 is 30 degrees. Angle 10 I don't know. So this is 100 plus angle 10 equals 180 minus 100. Angle 10 equals 80 degrees. Oh, so many 80 degrees. Okay, now as I'm looking at it and I realize what it is, I'm like, oh, duh, I should have been able to get it from this one. Those are alternate interior angles. 80, didn't need to use any math. But it didn't matter because I got the right answer. All right, let's look at number 10. So I've got angle X to find, angle S, angle Y, R, and P. Okay, what do I know? I see 180 here, and that's formed by this parallel line, which is parallel to this one, and this transversal. So looking at red and blue angles, 160 is red and blue, and it's inside. This is outside. Let's see. But they're both, let's see here, they're both below my transversal and to the right of each parallel line. So angle R is 160 because those are corresponding angles. All right. I'm looking at this line right here, and I see these two angles make up that line. That means those two angles this angle and this angle means those two angles are supplementary. So 160 plus unknown angle equals 180. I don't even need to do the math. I can do that in my head. So my question mark's 20 degrees. All right, so that means P, if you can look here. And remember, there's a ton of different ways you can do this. This is just the way my brain's looking at it right now. Those angles, red and blue, those are also corresponding because they're both above my transversal and to the right of each of my parallel lines. So I know P is 20 degrees. That didn't come out the color I wanted. So P is 20 degrees, and I need to clean up this mess because I lost my variable. Okay. I know Y is vertical to P because they're formed by the same two lines and they're not adjacent. So now I know R is 20 degrees. Not R. R is 160. Y is 20. All right, so I've got that area taken care of. Now I need to come down here to those two. All right, notice this 20 was not a variable, but I found as much as I could. You find as much as you can, and it will help you. Trust me. Don't get stuck with, well, I don't need to do it, so why would I do extra work? It helped. It just helped us there with that 20 degrees, didn't it? All right, I'm going to clean up my workspace. I don't need that. Okay, so what do I know? I know. I see this 60, so I haven't used it yet, so I know I'm going to need it. So it's made by that red parallel line, which is with that red. And I'm going to, this transversal, I'm going to color in yellow. So I'm looking at red and yellow. Red and yellow. I see this little box there, which means this is 90 degrees, which means X plus S has to equal 90 degrees. I don't know if I need it, but I'm going to write it down just to remind myself. Okay, let's see. I'm going to extend this parallel line just so that I can see it a little easier. I'm going to look at red and green angles. Red and green angle. X is a red and green angle. It's inside my parallel lines on opposite sides of my transversal, so I know X is equal to 60 now. And I just did this over here. So now I have an equation with only one variable. Subtract 60 from both sides. S equals 30. And I have all of them done. Hopefully you're able to follow along and do some of those. Those are like the problems you're going to have. Homework, pages 308 to 40, 308, whoops, 38 to 42, numbers 2 through 28 even, 30 and 32 extra credit if you could do them without any help. They're a little bit trickier. Like the last couple problems we just had, those are trickier. 20 through 28, some of those are pretty straightforward. Some of them you have to use, figure out what you know. Draw your picture, print it out, whatever. Show your work on your own piece of paper. I think this will probably be another one of those assignments that in a couple days after I grade the first round, I will upload a picture of me solving it. Hopefully you guys saw that with the homework we did last week. I believe it was Thursday night. I uploaded a picture of me solving some of those problems. So if you're having trouble or you didn't do well on it, make sure you look at those videos. It's like if we were in class and somebody asked a question. So watch it, see how it's done. If you get 100% on everything, don't worry about it. You're rocking it. If not, just watch those videos. Ask questions, all right?